Hey swing trading family, this is Super Swing Trader. I hope you are doing well. Today we're going to take a look at some charts and see where we can identify supply and demand zones and trade it for income. Before I do, if you're new to this channel, here I talk about swing trading using the rules of supply and demand and technical analysis to trade with the big banks, hedge fund managers, and professional traders, and not against them. If that's something you're interested in, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. Also, drop a comment below. Let me know, have you guys placed any trades and have you made any money with swing trading using supply and demand yet? Comment below yes if you have and no if you haven't. I really appreciate your comments because it helps me tailor my content to best serve you. Apart from that, let's get right to evaluating the charts. Okay, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar versus the Canadian dollar. This chart on the left here is the daily. This chart on the bottom here is the weekly. And this chart up here is the monthly. I already drew some of my trend lines and some of the zones just to make the analysis go faster and smoother. When I have these zones drawn out, it's easier for me to just talk through it than to figure out where the zones are and talk through it and confuse you guys. So let's take a look at the monthly first. We see that back here it created this demand zone because it made this huge rally and broke through all these highs on this high especially. So it created this demand zone, and then it also created this demand zone on its way up, and price retraced to it because this is a good 1 2 3 4 wide body candles, and when it retraced it was still in an uptrend, and then price dropped down here and then went up and then came back down, broke this demand zone, and then it created supply right here. And we can go through all these, but I'm just gonna go through all of the most obvious ones. And then it created this demand zone, and then price reacted to it. It moved up to the supply zone, and then now the supply zone is in control. It came and broke this demand zone, so then it created the supply zone right here, and then price came all the way back to this demand zone down here, and now price is reacting to it. But then now it went back up to this newly formed supply zone, and now price is reacting really good to it and reacting good and start selling off. So where are we at? So that's where we're at on the monthly. We can see that this is not a demand zone. Demand zone is down here, but this demand zone has been tested once and twice already. So this is not demand zone. We can look for shorting opportunities just because this monthly supply zone is in control. It's in a downtrend. Okay, so then let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly, we have price drop forming this demand zone, but this is low odds. I will move my demand zone down here. Maybe this could work, but this is not a monthly demand zone right here. This is the only monthly demand zone, I believe. Yeah, because this impulse did not do anything to the supply zone. And yeah, okay, so on the weekly we see that there's a supply zone created here and it's dropping, and there's demand zone down here, and so this is a demand zone that we cannot ignore, but you can just draw here. It has a pretty strong demand zone. If it forms a candle that we want to see happen, let's see if it does this in the next coming weeks, does this, and then does this, then we can look to buy right here. we'll look to buy right here, and then we go up. Okay, but if price does this, then we do not want to buy until it shows some kind of movement up, because right now it's price action is really unclear, because the monthly is telling us to go short, but the weekly is telling us to go long because of these demand zones. So we want to wait for some kind of confirmation either way, if it's gonna react to this zone and go up, or if it's gonna break this zone. So if you are a really aggressive counter trend trader, if this goes up, then yeah, you can buy on the daily or whatever your entry time frame is. But for me, my entry time frame is the daily, because I'm trading the monthly, weekly, and daily. My highest time frame is telling me to go short. This is telling me that supply zone is in control, but this zone is here. Because the monthly is in control, more than likely this zone could break. More than likely it could break, but it may or may not. But most likely, maybe 60% that it will, and 40% that it won't. Just because this higher time frame is in control doesn't mean that these zones will automatically break. Now, if these zones are up higher, closer to this monthly supply zone, then yes, it's more likely that's going to break. But since these zones are pretty close towards the end of the range, then it means that price could reverse. But we do not want to automatically go long just because this is not a demand zone. These are, but it's on a lower time frame. Every time frame has its own zones that could make price go back up, and we just have to trade with the bigger picture uptrend. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily. We see that there's an obvious downtrend. Supply zone created here. Supply zone also created here, but this price action is not really good, so it broke it immediately. Okay. So I would not go short at all. I would not go short on this. I just draw it just to I use trendline notification and all that stuff, so when a trendline is broken, it notifies me. That way I don't have to look at the charts every single day. I just wait until my specific setups occur, and then I will place my buy, or I will take a look at the chart again. But I just like to have the trend line. I draw the supply zone here, but I'm not going to set a trade here, just because price is going to go up here, but this demand zone is in control on the weekly, and since this is just a daily supply zone and it's located right here, and this is not a really good supply zone. This is actually not even a supply zone on the weekly. So this demand zone on the weekly is much stronger than this zone on the daily. So if price does react to this and keep going higher, this zone will automatically be broken, and then it can make its way up to the supply zone. So like I was telling you earlier, if price reacts to this zone well and it starts going up, then we can look for our pullbacks on the daily and go long there. But if this zone breaks, then we need to also look at this zone, and if this zone breaks, we can probably look to go short on the daily. So it's just you just have to let it play out. We don't know what the market's gonna do, but we want to have our edge, and our edge is that the weekly, we have higher time frames to guide us where we should buy, where we should sell, and where we should just sit on our hands and just wait. And this is one of those one of those scenarios where we just have to wait. And there's probably, I don't know about your broker, but my broker has at least 50 to 100 Forex brokers and thousands of stocks to trade off of. So if I miss a trade, it's not a big deal. If I lose on a trade, it's not a big deal. I am implementing proper risk to reward trades, losing only 1 to 2% of my trading account. So it's not a big deal. The losses comes with trading, but we want the edge on our side, and I believe trading supply and demand is what gives me the edge on trading and gives me the freedom that I want to live my life. I don't want to sit by the computer for 3-4 hours at a time. I just want to take like maybe half an hour to look at all the charts, see where there are, set my alerts, and don't look at them again until maybe an alert is triggered. Alright, that is the analysis on New Zealand dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're not already subscribed, please click the subscribe button and also click that little bell icon. Then that way you'll get notified of the next video that I publish. Thanks again for watching.